Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's your boy Marvin. We're going to be discussing a YouTuber, Paul Thorpe, and he does podcasts as well. And basically, what he's basically saying is London is finished. And I tend to agree with him on a lot of things. But I'm going to get straight into video. I will sometimes pause it just to make my points, and if you agree with him, let me know. If you disagree with him, let me know.
Sadiq can't get him back in.
Well, inevitable, I think. It was always going to happen. Not a big surprise when you think that probably the most unpopular politician in the country by a country mile has just been re-elected. When you let that sink in for a moment, it's really mind-boggling. It hits home. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye, and it hits home the real problem that we now face here in the UK. I mean, he is the most unpopular politician, bar none, I would imagine. I guess George Galloway might be in for shout, but certainly Sadiq Khan would rate amongst the most unpopular. That is the situation. Less than 40% of the population of London are now indigenous Brits. I mean, Sadiq Khan has brought us Ules, he's brought us unprecedented levels of knife crime, unprecedented levels of shoplifting and crime in general, car theft, bike theft, mobile phone theft. You know, whatever crime you want to shake a stick at, London's Sadiq Khan is now, you know, at record-breaking levels.
It's crazy. I look online, not only on national news, but there's a stabbing every day. There's a murder every day in London. It's become a place where people do not want to go at night. There's always something happening. I have friends up there, I have family. They tell me a lot which goes on there. There seems to be, it's getting a little bit like the Wild West, where things are happening and the government don't seem to know what to do next. I don't know what it is with our government, say 20 years ago. Were they more organised? Was there more for the young people to do, more courses? I think there was more education. I think there was more money put into infrastructure, but it seems to be going on arms, and it also seems to be going on themselves, the Member of Parliament. And to be honest, do they really give a toss about the normal people, should I say? The people who work 9 to 5, they probably don't bring in a massive wage, but it seems like it only caters for the rich now, this world, and that's the way we're going. And I think it'll get worse before it gets better. That's my view on that.
So the big question is, how has he got voted back in and who's voted for him? Well, I hate to go down this route, I really do, but the facts are the facts. The only way that Sadiq Khan has been re-elected is through the Islamist vote. And it worries me greatly for a number of reasons. I mean, I would say to any of our Muslim friends watching this today that have voted for Sadiq Khan in London, did you vote for Sadiq Khan because you believe his policies are best? Or did you vote for him simply and strictly from a sectarian viewpoint? And if you did, that's really, really scary. And you've only got to look at what I think, at least, we've had a quick glimpse on the news of what's going on up in Leeds. This is a very, very scary time.
Do you really think there's sectarian voting going on?
I do, Aaron, I do. I can't see any other reason why Sadiq Khan... Look, let's have it right. He's not won on merit, has he? He's not won because he's made such a great job of London and of being the mayor of London. And I don't know many people that live in London now. Everyone else has moved out. They all feel like they've been, I'm going to say it.
I had a sales job in London, and this was going back to 2010, 11, about nearly 13, 14 years ago now. And a lot of the Londoners that I made friends with up there, some of them moved to Milton Keynes, some of them moved to Surrey, or Essex, the outskirts of London. Some of them even went 20 years ago before that, because they were seeing London change a lot, and nobody knows each other anymore. Nobody's talk. There's no communication. Every nationality tends to keep themselves to themselves. I don't think you get that neighbourly feeling you once had living there. And there's a lot of changes. Yes, there are a lot of asylum seekers coming in, finding work, and some of them are very, very, very good people. Yes, there are some who's not supposed to be here, who doesn't do the system well, but you've got to look at both of the scales to balance it out. Yes, we need NHS workers. Yes, we need doctors, nurses. Yes, we need cleaners and workers that the British don't want to do. It's just as simple as that. We have to bring in other people to do that, and I think everyone can understand that. But I blame the government for not doing enough for young people and not putting more sports facilities up, learning facilities up, more sports halls. The amount of sports halls I've seen closed down and boarded up in the job I do is absolutely unbelievable. The amount of small businesses that have gone bust, who took on young people or people with problems, have gone bust. The government are not doing enough to help the boy who maybe has only got one parent and she's struggling, and the boy wants to do something but he cannot get out of that circle he's in because there's no affordability for him to do any courses. And I don't think it is an excuse. I really do think it's the part of society, young people between, I'd say, 15, 16 when they leave school, right up to 25. It seems like they're going to do prison time because they want quick money, and nobody is really going to take them on and give them a decent wage. It's not just that. I think it's sometimes the way you're brought up as well, and how you've been educated.
They all feel like they've been ethnically cleansed from their home city. So I don't know many people that live in London now, but the ones that I do, and they probably number about, 15 or 20 or so, not one of them, not a single one of them, would have even dreamt of voting for Sadiq Khan. So who else was voting for him? And I would say it's non-Indigenous Brits, not just the Muslim community, but non-Indigenous Brits who I firmly believe are putting religion and Middle Eastern politics before what's best for London and for Londoners of all races, creeds and colours. So we've got Middle Eastern politics now creeping into the election of the London mayor, and then, as I say, what we think is going on up in Leeds potentially as well. Just take a look for yourself. I mean, it is absolutely scary, but we're heading down a hole, we're heading down a rabbit hole that far too many people are still too afraid to either talk about or admit. And when you look at Wes Streeting's post, his ex-post, his Twitter post earlier this week, vile comments, calling all conservative voters white supremacist, Islamophobic, whatever other cheap label he chose to throw at them. I mean, this is dangerous rhetoric.
The problem we've got is that I think it's about money in politics as well. And a certain minority of people who are voting for Sadiq Khan to come back into power, which is fair enough. I thought he'd done well at the start. I do think that it seems like he's turning a blind eye to a lot of things that are happening around because it doesn't concern them and they're not out there in the front line. It does worry me to see where this world's going. And Paul Thorpe, he's made some brilliant points. I just think it's genuine, which is coming from his heart and mind, and I think it's coming from a lot of people. It's not about black, white, Asian, whatever colour you are, where you're from. It's a systematic thing now, which needs to be resolved, or it's going to get worse. It is worse now. I think London is a no-go area for a lot of people. Yes, it used to be the place to be. I used to love going there, partying, raving, and the nights were good. You meet some wonderful people. But now it's different because the next generation of people coming up haven't really got a clue what the old London was like, and they don't really care because they see themselves not having the opportunities they should have. And that's half the problem. No opportunities creates death, stress, creates violence, creates murders, creates havoc, to be honest with you.
Eric, it's divisive speak, and I don't know where it's heading, but it ain't going to end up in a good place.
So lastly, Paul, what do you predict under Sadiq Khan for the next few years?
More knife crime, more street crime, more charges, more reductions to our freedom, more restrictions for our senior citizens that can't use their older cars anymore because they can't afford to. More misery.
Talking about that, have you seen the paper mile that he's trying to introduce? Have you seen talks about that?
Well, I've heard talk about it, Aaron, but just nothing would surprise me with this individual. He wants two things. He wants your votes and he wants your money. He's just had your votes. People have been daft enough to give him that. The next thing he'll be coming after is your money. But even more importantly, a message to all Londoners, and I am a Londoner. It's my hometown goddamn city, for Christ's sake. So I'm entitled to have my say. My message to all Londoners now is, the next time we get knife crime incident, we get another young man that's lost his life on the street, when there's no police on the streets, look in the mirror. If you voted for Sadiq Khan, look in the mirror, because you're partly to blame. So what do I predict? An absolute frigging disaster.
Wow. That's pretty serious. Pretty serious stuff. I think what we got to remember, I've got a daughter that could be our child. Our son or daughter out there, minding their own business. And seeing this and listen to this is serious. Leave your points at the end of the day, because I seriously think that we're going down a very, very destructive route. And it was explained there wonderfully, truthfully. Our government really need to get their heads together and work something out which is going to be better for the people, and all of us are involved in this, not just the young people, to make this right. And we need to voice our opinions more and more to make sure we're heard, because it just seems like there's a massive disconnection between the government and the everyday people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment, and please have your say whether things will improve or get better under Sadiq Khan. But I think, listen to Paul, we've got our answers. Take care of yourselves, bye.